Hi everyone, it's Jude here. Yeah, this would be my third attempt making this video. Not even an attempt really. I deleted the first two because I was a little bit apprehensive of sharing this data. Um, but I had a, you know, really good investigation, not investigation, we call it research and stuff like that. This data has come to me by email, and basically what it is that the data that's actually available is on the public domain. It's not my fault, and that I have I can authorize or have authentication. Not even authenticate. I don't have to use a username and password, but I have authorization to look at the content. And I thought I would be I'll be doing a disservice if I didn't share it. It's not a big deal, but you know what it's like. You just don't know. So I'm sharing it anyway. I'm sharing it for all of us so that we can actually learn from this, learn from our career, and understand probably two things. One, who's really in charge of our career? You know, it's, it goes without saying, it's us. And two is that what the media really means, or how we should just try to take certain things with a pinch of salt. So yeah, if you're watching this video for the first time, I'm Jude Carmont. I work for JC Vert Consultancy Services, my company, and also Digital Track. The reason why I make these videos is so that I can help folks like you achieve six figures or more, or a successful career as possibly can. I can only talk about the UK market because that's where I'm at. But I've had, or should I say, I've helped people in Canada and other places as well. So here we go. I received this email, very, very, very interesting, and not from an individual source or anything, just from, um, you know, emails that we all would have gotten. It's well found weekly. And basically, what contents of the email is about big tech layoffs, right? So, just to read the blurb, they're just basically talking about big tech layoffs, meltdown of the major tech stocks, Apple, Meta. Meta is actually Facebook. I didn't realize that. I did a little research before coming on here. And, they've got stuff like Instagram and WhatsApp, Amazon, that's a given. Um, Alphabet is Google, Microsoft, it's plain as day, and my favorite company. And they're talking about the big layoffs for these stocks. So if I click this link, it takes me to their website, this layoffs FYI. And if I do a filter, and I'll share this link down below if you haven't received the email. No, sorry, if I click here and I filter by field, and I'll trash that, I'll just go for Amazon. Right? It gives me these two links, or should I say these two fields, content. And we can see that the location of where Amazon's laid off is Seattle, and it is 18,000, and it's only 5% of their company. So you know, so 5%, is a small number in our minds, but in reality, it's just just goes to show how big and massive this company is. The layoff, um, or people being laid off, should I say, is in these two articles. The New York Times has the most interesting topic here. Oh no, it's not New York Times, and they want me to pay, which I'm not. It's a Wall Street Journal. This is a line that's really interesting. It says here the layoffs are concentrated in the company's corporate ranks and represents roughly 5%. So when I read that, I was just like, oh, okay, corporate ranks, corporate ranks. What do you mean by corporate ranks? You know, the ranking, of course, is junior, middle, senior. And it's just like, oh, so they're strategically laying people off, not just acts and stuff like that. Naturally, of course, you would, And this is the sad thing. At the end of the day, we are a number. We are a number to these companies. If you're in a particular group in the company, or if you're a particular level of the company, and you're not actually producing money for the company, you are a statistic. You are in a ranking that's going to be culled. Now, after reading that, I saw this link. There's a, and this link is dressed, it's listed here, a list of employees laid off. Interesting. So I clicked this link thinking it's probably just going to give me a 503 or something. No, it's live data. And, the data here, now I don't know if how relevant or how recently this is being updated, but what I can tell you is that the LinkedIn profiles are real. And the LinkedIn profiles do show me the individuals, and you can actually see how people kind of use not WhatsApp, sorry, LinkedIn in a way of, you know, but it doesn't match your CV. So here's a tip for all of you. When it comes to your CV and when it comes to LinkedIn, make sure the two marry. Because if you tend to fib on your CV, but then put something different on LinkedIn where people will generally go to, what will happen is that they'll probably not even be interested in interviewing you. And vice versa as well. Make sure your CV matches LinkedIn, make sure LinkedIn matches your CV. And make sure you don't lie, or if you're exaggeration within the truth as much as possible. Well, this only gives me a list of 95. So that's like, that's like 0001. I don't know. I can't do the math. I'm not bothered to do the math. I can't waste my time doing the math. So you can do the math for me. But it's a very small percentage in terms of the 18,000 people who's being axed, and I'm really sorry to hear that. What's really scary is that I can actually go to the resume of these people. Now, I'm not going to click on the resume and basically have it here for us to see, but I can tell you by looking at some of the resumes, I will strongly suggest that you take a look, and I can tell you now, I don't rate any of them at all. None of them actually gives a really good impression of what they can and can't do. And I'm very surprised that the majority of these people who've gone to university, who, would have studied very hard and everything, their CV output is just not really that impressive. And now you'll probably say, well, it won't be impressive because basically some of them have gone to university and only gotten the job for 6 months. But it's how you describe yourself and what the capabilities are. So for the purpose of this video, here's my CV, right? And none of it's forged, none of it's lies. And you could pause right here and take a look if you want. And you can see this on LinkedIn as well. What I suggest to everyone is that when it comes to your company, you have a company name, date started, date ended, your job title. What were you hired for? So I was deploying Azure IaaS and PaaS solutions using Azure DevOps with Terraform version 12. Somebody's going to go, so he knows infrastructure as service, he knows PaaS, he knows Azure DevOps, so he should know, how to use a repo, boards, possibly pipelines. But I did, and he used Terraform version 12. I wonder if he knows if version 13 or 1 is available today, which I believe it is. I should be able to articulate what the differences are. Or I can be able to prove to a new employer how quickly I can pick something up. But here's the really important bit, the key achievements. The key achievements is successful aid in migration of .NET application into Azure using Terraform Azure DevOps. Now, the reason I put that is because the key achievements is because when I'm being interviewed or going for an interview, I can show the employer, that I have the capability to grasp new technology. And I'm not afraid to actually go out of my comfort zone to do something that, that's new to me, right? And that's what a lot of employers want that. Reason being is because if I could use Jude for more things than just what I'm hiring for, that means I get more value for my money. And I highly recommend that. Going over and beyond is really good for you. But let's going back to this. Going back to this is that here's the data. I'll put the link below because it's on the public domain. I'm not sharing credentials. All this is here, ready for you to consume. But this is the interesting bit, and that is I'm really sorry for all these people who've been laid off. I'm really, really sorry. But if you actually go and you see majority of them are juniors. Now, when you go into their LinkedIn profile and when you go in and look at their CV, you can see that they've only been there for a particular small point of time, from 3 months to 12 months. And basically what's happening is that I think in that particular department, that technology is no longer needed, or it's, after doing some sort of review and research into the market, it's not going to be a contender due to the new technology releases of AI and stuff like that. So, when it comes to recession coming up, what you probably find is that people take a revaluation of where their company is at, who's in that company, what level, and then act on. So majority of the juniors, you see a lot of middle levels and a few seniors. Again, if I look at some of their CVs and I look at some of their LinkedIn profiles, it's the same trend where, and even this one here, I know some of you are going to read this and go, well, this person's in DevOps. I'm in DevOps. This person's in data. It's supposed to be a very lucrative market. Why is that? Well, you'll probably see why it is. It's not, when you're in a situation, you need to be able to be cutting edge to be able to give your company the, how you say, the benefit of your skills. If you find that you're going to a large company and you are thinking that this person is supposed to be in charge of your career, no, it's not the case. You need to be always be studying, always on point, always on the ball, and be interested. We live in the world where technology is changing. It's changing again. So we've moved away from traditional infrastructure and virtualization on premises to cloud. Now we're going to data, artificial intelligence. That's the new data's been around for a long time. AI is going to be the huge contender in the next 2 years. So if you're thinking about where am I actually going with my career, looking at AI. Now, what do you mean by looking at AI? I'm a security person. How am I going to be able to look at AI? Well, it's just basically the perspective of what challenges security has with AI is what I mean. Are you a DevOps person or developer? Or are the new challenges that AI will actually give? You know, and you got to be looking at that. So, you know, I work 14-hour days. 12 hours is usually at work. The other two is basically, some sort of study material, something like that. I include that in my work because, I, that's why I would tell the family I'm working for 14 hours. Yeah, end of story. That's what I have to do. If you like the food that you eat, if you like the clothes that you wear, if you like the house that you're in, and if you like the cars that we drive, then daddy needs to work those 14 hours a day. On the weekend, I will play. So that's it. So what I was saying in the very beginning is that when it comes to the media, is that we need to be able to just quickly try to understand that the media tends to not be telling you specifically why. I think this is why. Those two things, the levels, very junior, and technology that these folks are actually involved in, just basically wasn't going to take off as much as possible. Or the skills wasn't necessary and they had a reevaluation. But just remember, it's up to you to be able to in charge of your career. Feel free to look in their LinkedIn profile. Feel free to look at their CV. I don't think this content is going to be up for very long because basically you can see when it comes to working hours who are the other people who are viewing the content. You usually get like some sort of icon that's actually here. And the other day, this was fully populated. It was just like full of people who were just looking at it on the go. So I hope that helps. Um, Again, the only reason why I'm actually sharing this content is so that you can actually demystify what things are being said in the media. One, two is to help you progress your career. You can take a standpoint to say, you know what, I'm okay. I've got 4 years experience. I'm doing X, Y, and Z. I can see that I'm not a mid-level or a junior. I'm probably a senior. But this is in my opinion, in Amazon standards and American standards, because in the UK, if you look at the long list of things that are actually asked for you to do on a contract, you go, no human being can do all those things at the same time. Um, and we don't get paid the same rate as what people get paid in America. What I find is that in America, you got a consolidated list of things for you to smallly achieve. That allows a person to get very in-depth knowledge of that particular skill, but not a very wide skill base like what you have here in the UK, in my opinion. But they get paid a tremendous amount more money. And, you know, that's just how life is. So, as a good friend of mine says, skills pays bills. Remember that, folks. Skills pays bills. And if you always want to be in work, and if you always want to be in the cutting edge of technology, have your skills up to date. So I hope that helps. I hope everyone enjoys this video. It's a new video for New Year. And thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.